if data which we have given to somebody to preserve and hold gets leaked because of a cyber incident. Therefore, it's very, very important. I think it's a space where much more action is needed, coordination across agencies is needed, and this kind of coordination, the DGP mentioned about cooperative federalism, working together is something that we need to do a lot more of. And what I was extremely heartened to notice yesterday during my visits is the way seamlessly the Directorate of Information Technology here in Tripura has worked with NIC and various other government agencies to make sure that there is a way in which synergistically the programs are developed by NIC and then they are deployed and operated through DIT across various departments, and there is a almost completely seamless interaction in the way that this goes on. So those opportunities are also huge, and I think in that sense, you truly stand out as an example for many other states in the country to actually adopt a very proactive and a very synergistic, convergent approach to make sure that these operations are effective and these operations are something that we do on an ongoing basis to ensure that the better services are delivered. And I think we need to take a similar approach, and today's Cyber Bharat Setu is a step in the right direction of better collaboration between central agencies and state agencies to actually deliver the results to the people in the space of cybersecurity. Likewise, I'd like to also emphasize that we have when I collected details of the various entities from the Government of India, specifically from MeitY, which are working in Tripura and doing good work, there are a number of them. We have a whole host of entities who are working there in the entire range of what MeitY does, starting from semiconductor chips, where in NIT, National Institute of Technology, Agartala, we run the Chips to Startup program for designing chips. We run a number of entrepreneurship programs in our 2 STPI campuses here. NILET has a center here, a wonderful campus, and it's been upgraded to the level of a university, so they'll be able to offer more courses, and this is a facility which needs to be used even more. Incidentally, agency like NILET, actually bulk of its centers are present in the Northeast. We have almost 20 centers out of the 55 operating in states in the Northeast. And our intent is to make sure that we are able to provide the kind of service that people here need. The Chief Secretary rightly emphasized that IT and the digital skills are the way that the state can really grow and develop in the modern age. And clearly you have an agency on our behalf which can support you in doing this. We have set up an AI lab in NILET. We can support cybersecurity related courses as well, because we run programs like Digital Future Skills Prime, and we also run the program of Information Security Education and Awareness Project. And that is something where, again, considerable work in the cybersecurity space can be done. I understand that in Tripura itself, we've trained close to about 1,274 people under the ISA program in phase 2 and about 875 in phase 3. And we would like to expand this further and truly work with you to make sure that this is made available. Mention was made of data centers and the internet gateway, which can come up here, both in terms of having an internet gateway in the Northeast and also in terms of having abundant power and water, makes you the right location for more data centers to come up in this space. And I'm sure we'd be able to work together. Government of India is also putting together a framework in which we can support data centers to come up faster. And even in terms of data storage, I think it's important to realize that increasingly we are working on a PPP model. increasingly we want to involve private sector stakeholders much more in each of these aspects, whether it is in terms of managed service provision or in terms of the infrastructure itself, data centers and so on. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is that while we need core technical staff in the government itself who can actually administer some of these contracts, we are never going to be on par with the private sector in this space. I mean, it's a fast developing area. The surface of attack that many of the private sector organizations see in their operations, whether it is a software company or it is a data services company, they see a much larger surface of attack. They are much more nimble and flexible, and they keep innovating to make sure that those protections are there. So we should get out of a model where government does everything. We have to work with the private sector to make sure those facilities are added. And in every way, and I'm glad today that we have representatives of the private sector here as well, we can work together to make sure that this is done on an ongoing basis. And this is an area where we can work across the board. The intent of the Government of India, the intent of MeitY is also to work with agencies, with partners and stakeholders from across anything which is domestic, anything that we can work with, any entity that we can work with to push forward is an agency we can work with. A similar PPP approach is with CSEs, which you mentioned. There are more than 2,059 CSEs in Tripura, which exceeds the number of panchayats here, and so clearly it's a strong movement here. It is run by village level entrepreneurs. So I think IT today represents an opportunity for Tripura in a number of ways. It represents an opportunity to leapfrog. It represents an opportunity to actually engage with people, engage with multiple stakeholders in the state to actually move it forward. And we really need to leverage this strength and always remember that when we are applying IT and when we are applying digital means, make it digital and secure by design. So right from the word go, plan for it with the security alongside, rather than add security as an afterthought. And that's one way in which we can serve the people better. We can ensure that our concerns on security are addressed, but at the same time, IT is leveraged to deliver the kind of outcomes that we want to. Let me once again thank you for this extremely patient hearing and for the very, very warm and hospitable welcome that we've received. I only regret that my visit is such a short one. I wish I had spent a little more time and availed of this hospitality and seen some of the other more beautiful places that Tripura has to offer. But I can assure you that I go back with a lot of confidence that at least in the IT space and the cybersecurity space, Tripura is making all the right moves, and this is an area which will support both the growth of the state and ensure protection for its people, and you will be a leader in this space in the days to come. Thank you very much.
And maybe the book cover. And now we will. Now